Okay, so we are looking at these detail models inside of Revit, and we want to go ahead and move those to Twinmotions as well as sort of wrap a few things up. So again, this was the furniture that we're modeling. So I went ahead and added the table in. I need to copy these chairs one more time over and put them on the other side. So let's just go to our floor plan view, select those chairs, copy, rotate, and then we can slide them into place. So I have this basically ready to go, right? So let's see what happens here in terms of exporting this set out to Twinmotion for visualization. So the process that I want you to use for that, there is a plugin that you can add for Twinmotion. Essentially, it's going to show up here in the add-ins, but as you are learning Twinmotion and as you are learning your computer system, this is the preferred method. This is going to be a little bit more stable. You don't have to have both pieces of software running at the same time to do this. So this is the process that I want you to start off with. So what we're going to do is I'm simply doing export. We are in a 3D view. An FBX format is only going to show up in a 3D view. But we are going to export our chair and table as an FBX file. So I'm just going to click Save. And then when I go to Twinmotion, so blank interface right now with Twinmotion, I'm going to hit the Import button. Open, navigate to the appropriate folder. And there's my object, the chair object and table. So I'm going to go ahead and say OK, and it will place that. Now, the first thing is I'm not sure where it's landed. It's somewhere here in this workspace. Maybe it's right below me. It is right below me. But if you can't find something inside of your Twinmotion file, if I open this up right here, you will see your imported FBX as well as its components. If I simply click on that and hit the F button, it will move the camera immediately to its location. So you can see right away I've got things in place. It looks like they need to be lowered just a bit to get them on the ground plane. Now, with this said and done, I know that the table is marble. These pieces are sort of a black color, and the chairs look like they're sort of a deep, sort of a black wood color, or a black plastic. I'm not really sure which it is. So let's go with like a wood grain on this and see if there's not a really nice sort of dark, solid pressed wood of some kind. I know they're not that, or that. Well, let's see what we can find in terms of just these plastics here. Man, I don't really want to do it with a rubber kind of stuff. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense either. So what I'm going to go with is let's just go with a default color. And to do that, oftentimes you can come right to our modeling colors, I think. Do we have a paint inside of these? Yeah, I've used this often, this clay right here. So let's go to our application of that. So I'm just dragging that across and landing it directly on this object. Okay. Next, I can select these dots right here, and I can kind of begin to dial that color in. It's sort of this deep chocolatey brown, right? So let's do about something like that. And that feels pretty good for those chairs as a beginning point. There's more specular highlights and some things like that on those chairs. So the next thing that I could start to do is add just a little bit of reflection, and you're starting to see how those specular highlights start to show up. If I go to my settings and more, a little bit of a metallic quality to it, and then just a little bit of a bump map as well is going to break that up in terms of that specular highlight not being super consistent across. Now, the problem with doing any of that is this is marble. And if you notice, it gave everything the same material. So I know right away that I've got something wrong inside of Revit with this original FBX file. So let's go back into my Revit file and see what's going on. So if I select this object, so that's a custom component object, and click Edit in Place, I know that that is done as material by category. And if I click on the three dots to define that material, I know that really right now it is just a default material. That is its current material. So what I need to do is create a new material definition for that top. So I'm going to click New Material. Let's rename this Marble. And in its appearance, I'm simply going to give that a different color. Let's make it a brighter, whiter color. I'm updating the graphics tab so that they match. So I know that that material is added. These two pieces right here, I'm going to create new material. And let's rename that material as well, and let's call this table legs. And I know those, in terms of that table, were very dark. So let's go ahead and slide those down to something almost black. Match the render appearance. All right, so now I'm down to just the chairs, and I can leave those as the default material, but it might not be a bad idea for me to go ahead and assign them a specific material as well. However, I think if I did that, I'd probably have to recopy and redo that chair arrangement. So just thinking this through while I'm doing the video, I'm just going to leave those exactly as is. So since I'm not live linking my Revit file with my Twinmotion file, all that I need to do to update this is really simple. A little less automated, but just as easy to do. I'm going to go File, Export, FBX. I'm going to select the FBX file that I created originally, Chair Object Table. Hit Save. Do I want to replace it? Yes, please. Back into Twinmotion. I can select my object. And right here I have these two little swirly marks, which simply means reload. And now I have new materials, right? It's updated that. It's kept the materials for the original object. And now it's given me the opportunity to come in and let's add in a marble and granite. And that was sort of a bright white-ish marble. For the sake of rather not just sitting here watching me pick through lots of materials, let's just make a very good quick guess. Noisy marble 1. There we go. Scale, that's a little bit intense, so let's change the scale of that up just a little bit so that reads just a little bit better. And now on these legs, I'm not exactly sure what those were, but let's go ahead and add the same material that was for these chairs to those. So to do that, I can select my eyedropper. I can pick my chair, and now I can just drag that right onto those legs as well.